So we talked about how organizational strategy is a combination of organizational foundation and organizational direction. Next, what we are going to talk about is how we can track strategic performances with the help of marketing analytics. Now, marketing analytics is a very wide topic altogether. We're just going to talk, we're just going to get an idea of what analytics is about. So in order to get that idea, we need to understand these two terms, marketing dashboard and marketing metric. So marketing dashboard is the visual display of the essential information related to achieving a marketing objective. So in order to achieve a marketing objective, you need to have some key information. You need to have some important information, and marketing dashboard provides you with a visual display of that information. For example, as you can see here, this is the marketing dashboard of ABC company, and you can see in there it's showing you total visits, cost per click, engagement rate, and so on. And in the next row, it shows you the customer engagement, how customer engagement influences sales, and in that it shows you product sales trend and revenue by channel. Next is it shows you top website referral channels and website demographics. So basically whatever is key uh, with respect to achieving your marketing objective, marketing dashboard gives you a visual in terms of it can give you bar graphs, or it can give you pie charts, it can give you, not just the percentage of the information that you need to achieve your marketing objective. Now, marketing metric is a measure of the quantitative value or trend of a marketing activity or result. For example, profit, market share, sales, growth, all of these can be called marketing metric. These are the ones that are going to provide you quantitative value of the marketing activity. And these are usually what you use to set goals or objectives for the organization. And we talked about this before. So you set goals when we talked about SMART, and we talked about setting goals. We talked about how your goal can be to achieve 10% more profit next year. So that's those terms or those measures that we're talking about here. These are called marketing metrics. Next, market share is the ratio of sales revenue of the firm to the total sales revenue of all firms in the industry, including the firm itself. So, and we talked about what revenue is. So you can basically calculate what place you are in the market, or how much of the market is yours, by just dividing your total sales revenue by the total sales revenue of the entire industry in which your firm is also included. That will give you your share in the entire industry, your share of market in the entire industry. So for example, we can see here, and this is an old, this is 2 years old data, but we can see here all the cell phone providers and how what's their market share in different quarters. And we can see that by second quarter of 2019, Samsung was number one with 22.7% market share. Apple was number two with 10.9% market share, and so on. So what does that mean? It means Samsung has a share in the entire cell phone industry, or in the entire electronic industry, rather. 22.7% share that it occupies in the whole market. What is profit? Is the money left after a business firm's total expenses are subtracted from its total revenues. Very simple. You just basically earn some money if you sell a product. let's say you sell a product for $12. In order to simplify, let's just talk about one item. So let's say you sell a product for $12, so you got in $12. That's your revenue. Now your profit is going to be how much did that one item cost you. So let's say it costed you $5, so your profit becomes 12 minus 5, $7. So the money left after a business firm's total expenses are subtracted from its total revenue. So we don't do it per item, we just do it for the entire items that we are selling. A business plan is just like any other plan. If you remove business from this term and you just think about what a plan means, so that's the plan we are talking about here. So a business plan is a roadmap for the entire organization for a specified future time period, such as 1 year or 5 years. So if you think about yourselves, what's your plan? If you think about your plan for a specified future time period. So you'll say, my plan is to graduate in the next semester, or by the end of summer, or in next 2 semesters. So that's your plan, right? Similarly, business plan is for the entire organization, and they're like, okay, this is what we're going to do in by next year, or by next 5 years, or whatever the specific time period is. And marketing plan is a part of business plan, which is basically the exact same, except for you need to focus really on just marketing activities. Here you're not talking about the entire organization, planning about the entire organization. You're only talking about marketing activities of the organization for a specific future time period. Now, setting strategic directions. So in order to set strategic directions, what you need to do first is you need to look around. You need to look around. You need to ask your organization, where is it right now? Where is it at the present time? And that's why it says, where are we now? Because you're asking yourselves, you're asking your own organization, that where is the organization now at the present time. Now, in order to do that, what you need to identify is you need to identify the customers of the organization, the competitors, and competencies. So we know what customers mean. We need to identify the customers, see who our customers are. Similarly, we need to look at the competitors and see who all are our competitors. And the last one is competency, is a competitive advantage, which basically is a unique strength relative to competitors that provide superior returns, often based on quality, time, cost, or innovation. So if you look at that picture, it really shows you that you have these 4 players in the market. There are four businesses going in the same area. These are similar businesses. That means that these are competition to each other. And your organization, which we'll assume is the circle, is the sphere that this guy is moving, and not those cubes. This is, you have a unique strength that basically represents, the shapes represent strengths that the organization has. So you can see, as compared to the other 3, the sphere has a unique strength that is, pushing, that's giving the push to your organization to be better than, or to have an advantage over the other competitors. So this shows that it's giving you superior returns, which are often based on quality, time, cost, or innovation. So that's competitive advantage, a unique strength relative to competitors that provides superior returns, often based on quality, time, cost, or innovation. Next, the next step in setting strategic directions is talking about growth strategies, or creating growth strategies. That is, where do we want to go? Because we're talking about growth. So where do we want to go? In order to understand that, we have 2 different analyses that we can conduct. business portfolio analysis and diversification analysis. And we're going to talk about these one by one, starting off with business portfolio analysis, which is um, developed by a management consulting firm called Boston Consulting Group. You can also call it BCG. It's popularly known as BCG. And what is business portfolio analysis? It's a technique that managers use to quantify performance measures and growth targets to analyze its clients' strategic business units as though they were a collection of separate investments. Too much to take in. We're just directly going to go to a BCG matrix, as it is called, the Boston Consulting Group matrix or business portfolio analysis. It's more commonly known as BCG matrix. So we'll try to understand business portfolio analysis using this matrix. So we can see we can draw in this analysis, in this matrix, we draw our X quadrant as market share, high to low, and then we draw our Y quadrant as, Y axis as market growth, again, high to low. Now, when we have low market share, when we have an SBU, a strategic business unit, a division in our organization that has low market share, that has low current market share, but is in the high market growth quadrant, which means it's the market that this division, this SBU is in, that's growing. It has high market growth. That's growing. But currently, our organization, our SBU or our division is in the low. It has low market share. So that quadrant is called question mark. All those SBUs of your organization that fit in low market share and high market growth are called question marks. Why do we call them question marks? Because they are in high market growth, but currently our market share is low. So we have a question mark in our heads whether this is going to grow. We're going to grow. We're going to go from low market share to high market share or not. It has a question mark. We are not sure if it is going to go high or it's going to remain there, but it sure has a possibility to go towards high market share or have more market share in the market because it's a high market growth. It's in that high market growth quadrant. Okay. Next is high market share and high market growth. So all the SBUs, all the divisions of your organization that currently have high market share and have a high growth potential, they are in that high market growth quadrant. These are the ones that are stars of your organization, right? These are really the stars of your organization. High growth potential with high market share, so stars of your organization. Next is the cash cows. Cash cows are the ones that are in the high market share, that have high market share, but are in the low market growth quadrant. So these are the SBUs that you own with high share in the market, but the growth potential of that market is going low. Okay, and we call them cash cows. And we're going to come back to all of this again, but yes, just going through them one by one. And the last one is low market share with low growth potential, low market growth. These are called dogs, basically the ones that have everything low. They don't even have a share in the market, a big share in the market, and there's not even any growth potential in there. So those are called dogs. Now going back to where we had started from, that's the question marks. That's how generally the cycle for all the SBUs or all the products works. So you start with question marks. Generally, the organizations if we only look at one SBU at a time, so that particular SBU starts with a question mark generally, because you generally start with a market that has growth potential. You're not going to start in a market, you're not going to launch a new product in a market that has low growth potential, right? So you start with high growth potential in that quadrant with high growth potential. And of course, when you start, you have low market share. Then it should go to stars. Then that should go to cash cows, and then that should go to dogs. So that's the regular normal uh, what which the life of an SBU. That's how the life of an SBU works. So now, what do we do for the question marks? Because these are in the high growth potential area with a low market share, we need to invest more money in there. We need to invest more money so that we have a bigger share in the market. For stars, again, we keep investing more money in there because they are still in the high growth potential area, and we have a high market share that we want to maintain. We want to maintain the high market share. If you go down to cash cows, once your SBU has gone to cash cows, where you have high market share, but it's in the low growth potential area, at that point of time, your investments towards that SBU go very, very low. You lower your investments. You don't want to invest in an area, in an SBU that's going to die soon, that's going to go towards dogs soon, right? So you don't invest much in that. You only try to sustain it so that it's because it's giving you high returns, because it's in the high market share area. So you are going to just sustain that there, keep that there, but you're mainly going to take all that money that you're receiving from that quadrant and invest it towards cash cows and stars. Next, when you go to dogs in that quadrant, you basically do not do anything. You either just stay there without investing any money, or you get rid of those products because you're only spending money on it, yet you're not getting anything back in return. And we're going to talk about these again in a few other chapters. So that's the BCG matrix, or business portfolio analysis, with question marks, starting from question marks, stars, cash cows, and dogs. So going back to the definition of business portfolio analysis, it's a technique that managers use to quantify performance measures and growth targets, to analyze its clients' strategic business units as though they were a collection of separate investments. So it kind of makes sense now. You want to see where how they are performing, and how their what's their growth going to be like, and you're going to treat them as separate investments, because you're really treating these, you're really using money that you get from one to to make your other SBUs better, or getting the money to again invest in the same SBU, depending on which quadrant that SBU is in. So this is an example of a BCG group matrix for Amazon. We can see here quickly, Amazon question mark is Pinzon, which is a special brand of Amazon for luxury towels and bedding. That's in a question mark. It's in a high growth potential area, but it right now has very low market share, so that's a question mark. Also, Amazon Web Services, again, high growth potential, but currently has low market share. Then we can look at Amazon Stars, which is Kindle, Amazon Fresh, Amazon.com, and Instant Video. All of these are Amazon Stars. Next, we have cash cows for Amazon. We have the Audible.com, which is, it sells the digital books, digital audio books. So that's Audible. That's in a low growth potential right now. and it does have high market share though, because it already has a lot of customers, and it has captured a high share in the market. But the growth potential of this particular business is really low right now. And CreateSpace, which is a publisher, which is the Amazon's book publishing SBU, and that too, as you know, we all know, it has low growth potential. And then we can see Amazon's dogs are its MP3 and cloud business, which are really low in market share and have low growth potential. So these are Amazon's SBUs put in BCG matrix or BCG portfolio analysis, um, which gives you an idea of how Amazon is doing with each of its SBUs, strategic business units. So it's time for our activity 5 now. Activity 5 has 3 parts. In order to get full credit for activity 5, you need to complete all the 3 parts of the activity. This is 5A, where you need to estimate BCG portfolio analysis for 4 of Apple's SBUs: iPad, iPhone, Apple Watch, and iPod. Basically, what you need to do is you need to put them in their respective quadrants, and do not forget to provide reasons of putting them in the quadrant that you are putting them in. So just write one statement. Let's say if you say iPad goes to whatever, whichever quadrant you select, and then write one statement with the reason of why did you put it in that quadrant. Once you're done with that, go to activity 5B. What you have to explain here is that what's happening. This is these circles that you see on the BCG matrix. These represent only one SBU. Remember that it's only one SBU. It's not different SBUs. It's just one SBU. That one SBU is moving in, you can say, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7. You see that movement happening on the BCG matrix. You're supposed to write what is happening according to you in there. And number 2 is what implications are there for the firm managing this portfolio. That is, what guidance is provided by the BCG matrix. What should the company do looking at this trend? What do you think they should do next with that SBU? All right, once you're done with that, we're going to talk about diversification analysis, which is a technique that helps a firm search for growth opportunities from among current and new markets, as well as current and new products. So diversification analysis is basically, you already have existing products that you're selling, right? You're selling these existing products to your target markets. So you have existing products and you have existing markets. This analysis helps you in finding growth opportunities in your existing markets with your existing products, and in some new markets with your existing products and with your new products. And I think we'll understand it better with this graph, which is also called, with this matrix, which is also called Ansough's matrix. So on the top left, you see existing products and existing markets. So you use your existing product to sell more in your existing market, which is called market penetration. Okay, you're penetrating more into the same market with your same products that you were selling earlier, because you're trying to sell them more in the same existing market. Now next, bottom left is market development. Basically, as the name suggests, we keep the product same. We have the existing products, but what we develop is the market. That is, we sell our existing products in a new market. So now let's say if we currently were only serving, let's say, female customers, now we are selling the same products to a new market, which is also males. So we are developing the market. That's called market development. Next, on the right top is new product and existing market. So we keep our market the same. So we keep females as our target market, but we start selling new products, whatever product you have developed, and that's why we call it product development. Whatever product you have developed, you sell it to the same market, that is females. And the last quadrant is new product and new market. So you completely are diversifying, as it says, that quadrant's name is diversification, because you're really diversifying your business with bringing in new products and selling it completely in a new market. So these are the four quadrants that can give you an idea of the growth opportunities in whichever quadrant. You can look at this and you see, oh yes, we have a growth opportunity in, let's say, product development, and then you start going from there. Now, the planning phase of the strategic marketing process involves 3 steps. Step number 1 is situation analysis and SWOT analysis, or SWOT analysis. And situation analysis, as the name suggests, is basically talking about the situation your organization is in. So where it is now and where it is headed. So taking stock of where the firm or product has been recently, where is it now and where it is headed. So you kind of analyze the situation, the past, present, and future of the firm or the product in question. That's the situation analysis. How do you do that? You do that using SWOT analysis. And SWOT is an acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths and weaknesses are internal to the organization. That's something that they can control. That's something that's theirs, that's internal to them. But opportunities and threats are external to the organization, which means they are out of their control, but these impact them, the opportunities and threats. We'll just look at an example here. Yeah. So looking at Uber, and I'm not going to read all of this. I'm just going to read the first of in each of these quadrants. But you can pause here and read them all if you want, and then go ahead. So if we look at Uber, the internal strength of Uber is one of those is dominant leadership position. That's internal to them. If you think about it, Uber is a leader in the market. It has dominant leadership position. That's their strength. That's theirs. That's internal to their organization. Their internal weaknesses are questions of safety specifically in certain geographic regions. So there have been some cases where Uber drivers have done something wrong, and there have been some questions of safety, at least in some geographic regions. So that's a weakness that Uber has to overcome. That's their internal weakness. Now, their external opportunity is rise of autonomous vehicles. That's something that they cannot control, but that's an opportunity for them that they can use in favor of them. So that can impact how they operate, how they change within themselves. Then an external threat is New York's cap on Uber and other ride-hailing companies. Again, it's out of control of Uber, but that's a threat that they have to keep in mind while strategizing for their organization. And as I said, you can pause here, go through all the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of Uber to get better idea of how SWOT works. Here we have it's time for our activity 5C, which is the last part of activity number 5. Again, activity number 5 has 3 parts. Unless you finish all those 3 parts, your activity is not going to be finished. What you're going to do is you're going to conduct a SWOT analysis of yourself, thinking of you as a product which is going to go in the job market very soon. Write about what are your strengths when you're going to a job market. going to the job market, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are the opportunities and threats that you have to face. Remember, strengths and weaknesses are internal to you. Opportunities and threats are external, out of control, that you cannot do anything about, but that will impact how you change your strategies within. So do that and then come back. Step number 2 is market product focus and goal setting. So we have talked about this before. We've talked about it about market segmentation and points of difference, and that's what you're supposed to do here. You're supposed to segment the market. Once you have done that, select your target market and find out a point of difference or points of differences in there, and then go set goal accordingly. Set specific to the product and to the market. Your specific goals need to be set here. Once you're done with that, your step number 3 is to look at the marketing program. What is marketing program? It's, remember, the marketing mix elements, the 4 elements or components of marketing mix: product, price, place, and promotion. So the marketing manager needs to design everything, all the 4 P's: product, price, place, and promotion, and needs to make sure that all of these, and you can, if you see the block at the bottom, should all fit together. So all these puzzle pieces should fit together, and that's what we call a cohesive marketing program. What do we mean by fitting together? So for example, if you think about, let's say a $10,000 watch being sold at Walmart. So the P price is $10,000. P product is watch, and P place is Walmart. If you see, the price does not go with place. So $10,000 watch being sold at Walmart does not make any sense. Nobody's going to buy it because of the 4th P that is left, that is promotion. That's not how Walmart has promoted itself. And that's why these all do not fit together. So that's not a cohesive marketing program. You need to make sure that all of these fit together. A product, appropriate product, sold at an appropriate price and an appropriate place, and having appropriate promotion. All of those 4 P's should go hand in hand with each other. You cannot pick up a price that's very high and then use a place, that's the retailer, for example, they're using a retailer which is which sells low priced products. That doesn't make any sense. So you have to make sure that you put all of these P's together and then create a cohesive marketing program. And that ends our chapter. These are the broad learning objectives that we covered in this. We talked about 3 organizational levels of strategy after board of directors. We talked about corporate level, strategic business unit level, and functional levels. Then we talked about business, mission, culture, and goals. We also talked about strategic marketing process. And that ends our chapter.